Ramble, young man, ramble. Well, ramble indeed. This is the Q&A of Chrizo 360 and Mike Nice the Barber on I.U.A. Network.
Fades International Impact. Fades International.
Chrizo the Barber.
Mike Nice the Barber.
Fades International.
Fades International.
Yo, we Fades International.
With host Ramble indeed. I want to talk about your legendary barbershop out of Queens, New York.
Legendary.
Yes.
Say it again, legendary. Let these cats know.
It's only one way to say it. If you're going to say their barbershop, legendary is attached. Believe that one.
Fades International.
Fades International. Where was that located at?
That was on God Bro in between 134 and 137, baby.
Wow, that sounds like a Lost Boys territory right over there, no?
Man, Freaky Ty was one of my clients, man. Real talk.
Deep. Rest in peace, Freaky Ty. So what even made you want to become a barber?
Back in the days, man, I used to hustle. So, I used to be wherever the hustlers were, you know what I mean? And they was always getting their haircuts. I was always in there so much, man. I was like, yo, this shit looks kind of easy. This guy, Freddie, he made it look so effortless and so easy. But you look at something and say, yo, I could do this.
Well, what was it? Was it like he was giving him a fade at that time, a shape up, or
how he was doing it? His hand was just moving, and he was just flicking the guards up and down, putting attachments on. And I was like, yo, you look at something like, yo, this shit is easy, man. I could do this, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I didn't get baptized. I just said that just like before I even got into the business. Like, Freddie's legendary. Freddie's a legend in the haircut game. He used to cut Anthony Mason's hair. Remember, he had the Mason in his hair, and he had a Nick sign and all that stuff. That was the barber that was doing it. Dow Strawberry was in there. Tons of artists, tons of celebrities were in there getting a haircut by Freddie. You know what I mean?
So Freddie was doing designs and all of that.
Oh man, this guy, yo, real talk, man. People might not believe it, but I swear to you, if I didn't see my own 2 eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. The guy cut a palm tree with coconuts and the beach and the sun in the guy's head. Like, what the fuck? Yo, I swear to God, dog. And I was like, yo.
Before you became a barber, were you an artiste? Like, could you draw?
A little bit, nothing like that. You know what I mean? Nothing like an artist kind of thing, but a little something. You know what I mean? You do, I used to do a little bit of graffiti back in the days. My cousin was big into it. So, I kind of just got into it with him. You know what I mean? But he was more the artist. But I can, it wasn't like I only could draw stick figures. You know what I mean? I could do other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It would be a Picasso, but it would be, R.Y.M.R from Beat Street at best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? If that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, but it just seemed like a job that it seemed like something I can do. And when you look at it and you say, damn, man, I can do that, man. I just wanted to get it done. I was, doing my thing for a while. Then I had a little vacation, you know what I mean? Okay. Staycation kind of thing. And I want to say really from I started in 92 and I had to take a little time off. And then when I was back in 93, that's when it really started, like hands-on. This is what I'm doing every day in my life kind of thing. I'm in a barbershop getting money. We doing our thing. I'm learning. I'm really at this time in 93. I'm really learning the craft. I can cut a little something, but I'm learning the craft about how to get busy and stuff like that. What to do, how to do, go about the barber business per se. Oh, Mike Nice is in the building.
Peace, Mike Nice. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Mike Nice the Barber. Now I've been around, been a barber for over 30 years. Since I was a young teenager, since I had a team behind my number. From South Jamaica, Queens. Got a hot story to tell, man, about where we from and all the people that came from my neighborhood that we know, that you guys probably heard of, holding down the community, man, for a long time.
And Chris, just want to know, like, what made you decide that this is it for me in the barber world? And how did your initiation by fire start? Who did you start cutting?
This guy on the phone. Mike was already cutting. Yeah, Mike was already cutting hair, but I wasn't. It was one of those, when you hustling, you up, you down, you know what I'm saying? So when I was up, I was going to Freddie. And when I'm down, I'm going to see my boy. You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. Gotcha. You know what I mean? And after a while, I just stopped going to see Freddie. I was just like, fuck that, man. I'm sticking with my boy. And he was getting money. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Chris is in the street. Chris is in the street. Chris is trying to get his hands on some of that money, man. The streets, the streets is very, very inspiring, man.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
And you
Hey,
start seeing all these guys with these fancy cars, and all this jewelry and stuff. Yo, how can you
Man.
turn it down?
so Mike,
Yo.
you let him cut your hair personally, Mike, starting off?
Hell no.
No,
Okay, that's what I'm saying. 'Cause I'm like, how you get your start? You're like, shit, with Mike on the
well,
phone. I'm like, really, Mike?
well,
You just let him chop your joint up real quick, starting
nah,
off?
nah,
nah,
it was
nah.
really my brothers and my friends, you know what I'm saying? Like they
Okay.
ain't had no money, they ain't had no job, they wanted haircuts. So, I started zeking them first, chopping them up, telling them, come on down to the chop shop. You know what I'm saying? I got something for you, you know what I mean? Then I was zeking them until I got better. What was it, 91, Mike? 91, late
Yeah,
91,
something like that.
I started my first barbershop. But I had already caught this case, so you know what I mean. I was trying to just clean my life up at that time there, so I wound up starting the shop, and this is a funny story. On my first day, man.
First haircut.
So first day, my first client, everything right comes in there. So you know how people got the franks in the back of the fat meat in the back of their head. We call them pack of franks, right? And this dude came in there, you know what I mean. He had the pack of franks, right?
The Lunchables.
Yeah, so I'm cutting them as best I know how to cut them. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know I was supposed to lift the skin up and do all that stuff there, right? You know what I mean? So it looked like he had mad lines in his head because of the how his skin was.
Yeah.
So homeboy, instead of him like, yo, bro, you gotta lift the skin, just help me out.
Mm-hmm.
This is true story. This is true story, yo. Very, very loud on a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. He goes, "What the fuck is that?" Yo, indeed. I started sweating like, oh shit.
I looked over. He was like, "Yo, Mike, what is this? I asked for a haircut, not a hatchet." I was like, "Yo, hold on, man. I'll fix it. I'll take care of you."
And that's the thing with being a barber, man. You hear about dissatisfaction immediately. You think, I can handle this. I'll be all right, man. Trial by fire. I got the skin for it.
I mean, I always tell that story. I'm like, shit, after that, I knew I was good. Like, I can't go nowhere but up from this one.
It's not gonna get any worse.
It can't start no worse than this. Like, come on, man. Like, shit was the funniest shit ever, man. And, me and Mike still laugh about that shit. And it's like 31 years ago. But I prided myself in getting better.
When did you go, you know what? I think I got to handle all of this damn thing.
It was around, I want to say 94, 95.
You got comfortable in about a year or two.
Well, that was late 91, right? But so, I wound up having to do some time from 92 to 93. I missed all of 92, you know what I mean? Half of 93.
Were you cutting while you were doing time?
Nah, hell no. That shit's a slave shop. You know what I mean? If I had some serious time and then I was fade out, I'll problem I might have, you know what I'm saying? Just to stay focused, stay busy. But nah, that was just too much long. I wanted to work out. I didn't want to be in the shop all day. It's like a slave shop for real though.
Was it almost like how they say you was de-virginized by them? Like when you got your first correct haircut?
Nah, because I had good haircuts before I felt like I was really nice. But you know how you see, like I was telling you earlier, indeed, like I would be watching and see what other barbers did, and damn, why is line coming out so sharp? Why my line ain't coming out like that? What am I doing wrong? Or you know what I mean? So I wanted to get nice.
So you didn't want to be the guy known as he has the best fades, but he'll push your hairline back a little bit. Like you wanted to be.
Yeah, we already had one of those. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We already had one of those. So I didn't want to be two of us. You know what I mean? Didn't make sense to be two of us in there. Mike could tell you, like, I just was like, all right. And I would ask him shit like, yo, why you use that? Why you did that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I wanted to know, because every hair is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Every texture of hair is not going to be always the same. So you got to use different guards for different things. You know what I'm saying? You got people that got thinner hair. So some blades you can't use, or some guards you can't use. And then you got guys who got thicker hair, and you got to use it different. It just coming to cherries. So I would just ask, like, yo, why you use that? Or, or just sit and watch.
Chris got good fast. When you work in a shop, when there's a lot of people that are good around, you can start picking up quick, especially if you want to be good. So he definitely wanted to do better and be better.
Mike, it sounds like you got the cutting bug at 16. What got you there?
I don't know. One day I watched a friend of mine do a few haircuts, and I was like, I probably can do that. I think I can do that. I'm kind of like artsy. I learned visually, and I started cutting my own hair, but I didn't want to mess anybody up. I didn't want to come out with a name like that. But I didn't think that I was really going to be a barber. It was like a hobby or something to do. You know what I'm saying? In between time, make a couple of dollars, you know, haircuts, $5, stuff like that. You know, I was young.
How hard was it to start cutting your own hair? I can't imagine.
I mean, you just gotta see it. You know, my father had a mirror in the bathroom that the doors opened up so I could see the back of my head. So I kind of knew what I wanted, and I like I said, I was a visual learner. So once I started watching, I got better. And when Chris used to go to the Ave to Freddie and Marty to get his haircut, it was one kid in there, Chris. I don't remember his name. I don't know if he went to Jackson with us or not, but he was cutting hair, and I was like, I can do that, man. I could do that.
My man Slim, yeah, Slim.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I could do that. But I wasn't as confident yet. And Chris was like, yo, just make your... I'll never forget this. We was at Mr. Mac house, and Chris said, yo, why don't you make the points a little slanted? And I was like, all right. And then that gave it the definition. And then from then on, they was asking me, like, who cut your hair? I said, I did. So, yo, cut my hair like your haircut. And that was it. I just kept going. I just kept getting more and more confident, and people kept believing in me. And I was working at another store, like it was a fish and chip around the way. So I was always somebody that had a job. I never wanted to kind of sell drugs. I never wanted to do that. So I started cutting everybody's hair around the way. And then like, yo, you need to go in the barbershop. And Richard Seabury, Richard grabbed me and said, come on, because there's a barbershop right next door, right across from my house. And he's like, yo, go in there. That man wants you. I told him about you. And I bought somebody in there, started cutting, and then that was it. He gave me some apprenticeship papers, started cutting. And Chris and them, I don't think they really believed it. They were like, yo, this dude really cutting in the barbershop. Like,
because he was, when I first met Mike in high school, he was working for an insurance company, you know what I'm saying? I never forget, we in gym class, right? This nigga had some ill nights, and I thought I was a stylish young man. You know, I was a hustler. I'm in the streets. I'm at this every store trying to look at all the new sneakers. I'm like, yo, bro, where you get those Nikes from? Nigga said, I thought it was a lie at the time. So I got them in South Carolina. What? I was like, oh, man, you could just told me no, man. I don't want you to know where I got it from. I thought he was lying, but come to find out, he really did get it from South Carolina. I asked him later on, like, yo, where'd you get those sneakers from for real? Tell me now. Like, nah, I really did get it from, But it was just so funny that after that day, we just like clicked. We was in gym class and we just clicked from there. I'm still in my hustle phase, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be around the hustlers, and Mike's barbershop was like old school.
Yeah,
like
old Jamaican man.
Old Jamaican, like it. So it wasn't a cool shop, you know what I'm saying? But he learned the right way. He learned the values and how to be a barber and what to do and business minded and everything else. And learning, people can't hang out in your shop and all that stuff. And he learned all those business values from Mr. Rose, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. You know what I mean? And
then eventually me too,
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Mike, like it was the best thing for him to fire you, because that like opened the floodgates. Like, yeah, I can't be. But he knew, like he had to let you go.
He fired me because I went to South Carolina. I went to a family reunion. He got mad and he was like, yo, you can't leave. I left because I'm on my, who's gonna stop me? You know what I'm saying? I do what I want. I eventually went back because he needed the help. And these other guys moved across the street, Untouchables. And it was Knockout Barbershop. There was a Young Barbers. They were young, man. And I was like, because it was a transition period. It was just, I don't know if you know, but it was just older men were barbers, just old barbers gambling in the barbershop. And we used to go in the barbershop to look at the Playboy books and stuff. We didn't really concerned with that. But then Haircuts Batman came out, and Haircuts Designs and all that stuff came out, and the younger dudes opened up a shop. And I didn't think I was good enough. And lo and behold, they were really checking me out. And then I think Untouchable opened up, and I went over there. I was like, yo, I need a job over here. And I sat in there until they gave me a job. And that was it. It was one thing about it, man. Your neighborhood will hold you down, man. If you're doing right, they're gonna hold you down, man.
What's the hardest part about cutting hair?
Getting past the learning curve, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, as far as like the haircut itself, it's a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the learning curve, like just knowing, like, I mean, it's hard to tell you because you got to be in it. But when you first start cutting, like a season that take you a half an hour sometime when you first start cutting, but when you're a vet, that's a 10-minute haircut.
Quick cut.
15 minutes if you're talking too much. You know what I mean? We used to have contests, 6-7 minute fades. You know what I'm saying? 5-minute seasons. Like we used to just try to be in competition with ourselves to make ourselves sharper and better. You know what I mean? But that's the real hard thing, is to get past that learning curve of knowing hairlines.
The more hours you put in, the better you'll get if you're doing it the right way, right? That's what they say.
Definitely.
You got to practice perfection, practice the right way, not the wrong way. So that's what we was doing. The hardest part is your confidence. That's the hardest part, is getting past, if knowing that you can be better and do better. That's the part. You know, it's not necessarily the haircut. It's the fight in your head. It's a fight with yourself. I would say that for me. That's what it was for me.
Do you find like you run into a lot of picky clients? It's like, yo, okay, don't touch me this way. Don't, you pushed it too far back, or I didn't say cut it that low.
Go to Chris. Nah, I don't want to cut your hair no more. Go to Chris. Go see him. He can deal with you. I can't deal with that, because I'm real patient. But
give me all the knuckleheads.
Sometimes, you know, you don't have the patience to deal with that stuff. But you know, it just comes with it. It's part of the game.
So said, you know what? We need to get our own barbershop. We done working for these people.
So my sister, I grew up with siblings. I just showed her I had about $300, man, cash. I said, yo, I made this today, and I was only about 20 years old, and like I said, I wasn't selling drugs, but you know, back then, that shit was what, 1990, 91. You had 300 cash in a day's work.
You was a millionaire. Yeah, no doubt.
Getting drug money.
Yeah.
She's like, yo, why don't you go open your own shop? I said, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. And that's what made me start looking. Just simple as that. And I started looking. And my homeboy Tim and Kev, working in the shop with them, they were like a shop within a shop between those two. And I kind of jumped in with them, and they was like, yo, we Fades International Impact. We trendsetters. And they had cars, jewelry, clothes. I'm was coming in. Ooh,
I'm still in the joint. I ain't home yet.
Yeah, Chris locked up. He making them calls on the payphone and shit. I'm going to talk to him and stuff. But that's where Fades came from. And those guys are really the guys that we kind of follow, because they had the pizzazz, they had the swag. You know what I'm saying? They had it all. We had the lifestyle of drug dealers, crack dealers. I don't say drug dealers, crack dealers. You know what I'm saying? And that was the epitome of anybody's neighborhood, was with those guys. Those are the guys that making more money than people's parents. Wow. They had all the cars, all the money, all the women.
And straight from cutting hair.
Yo, a lot of you not. We lived that lifestyle, man. I'm telling you not. And it probably was a little better, because we didn't have to worry about, you know, getting robbed. Well, robbery, that part can happen. But, you know, getting jumped and stuff like that, or police running in your place and all that stuff. We had it all without that part of it. And I swear, for any other job, you can't ask for nothing else. What else? That's we reached the top at a young age.
Religion is talked about in a barbershop as well, no?
Sometimes you try to stay away from that religion and politics, because that people get too personal, and it can drive people away. I witnessed a young lady. So I moved to Atlanta. You know, Israel. You know, Atlanta is like the Bible Belt of the South, and this lady was talking about Creflo Dollar to one of the barbers. She brought her son in. And he said something about the ATM and he's a crook and all that. That lady broke down. She started crying. Don't talk about my pastor. So I was like, it's in the book, man. In school, no religion, no politics. So it gets really deep when you start doing that.
I used to be about the money and the women, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's it. You know, after I came home, you know, I was on some, I'm gonna get right. You know what I'm saying? My man got me the spot and the shit in it. So, you know, we both had untouchables first. We getting it, you know what I mean? And then Mike breaks out, and I'm down there by myself with these dudes. They're like, damn.
Ain't last long.
He ain't last. It was about a couple of months. Then he was like, yo, you told me if I come now, you gotta cheer for my man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't coming, I ain't coming. I'm out. You know what I mean? They like, all right, bet. We got the cheer. So then that's how it all started for me.
I was knockout, yeah, because when Chris came down, it was a cat named Prince. Prince was working. Prince was in the street, really. But he was cutting hair too. for like parole, like probation. He was decent, but he was out. So he came out. I said, yo, Chris, there's a spot. Come down. And he came down, set up, and then Prince came in like, yo, what y'all doing? What's up? What's up with this? I called. Bonnie came in. He like, yo, Mike, your man can't work. I started packing up. I was like, all right, well, he can't go. I'm out. And he's like, all right, Prince, you got to go.
That was it.
That's how good I was. I had a nice little reputation, and I was paying my money every week. It was bringing a lot of business there. So
yeah, man,
you gotta stay loyal to you.
Then he got me fired a year later.
Kids that are 5 years old squirming in the chair, yelling for their life, are they as annoying as they look?
It's double that and some.
Triple that.
So I used to be the king of the kids. You gotta remember, my motto was like, was about the chicks. I took on all the kids. I done had kids throw up in my chair.
Oh,
I had
man.
kids crying, all type of stuff. When I say all type of stuff. That's almost like how I made my bread and butter. Where like nobody wanted to fuck with the kids. You know what? I got you. I perfected the craft for the kids, and I think they liked me because I was short. You know what I mean? I had the baby face. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, this guy, yeah, he's almost my height. He's cool. They kind of just gravitated to me. Even when that started in knockouts, and even when we went to Fades, it just triggered. It just kept on. It got more because the location.
Fades International.
Got off Boulevard in between 134 and 137.
Was it successful straight from the door? Like, how did that work out?
What?
Oh, we jumped out the gate. We came out the gate gunning. Right away.
Do pigs love shit?
How did y'all get it jumping from the door? Is it all about just a great haircut or customer service? How does it work?
Everything. It was the style. It was the swag, man.
I kind of really set it up just right. You know how when a coach comes in and the coach says, yo, I'm putting a team together. You got to put a group of guys together. Mm-hmm. Mike decided like, yeah, you know what? These the dudes I'm running with, man. And then when we got there, it was like Mike kind of chilled and let us do us.
So you Phil Jackson, I think.
He kind of, you know what I'm saying, laid back to the point where people didn't even know he was the owner for the first 2 years.
Word.
You know what I mean? When we came in, there was another shop already on there, on the block.
Wow, for years. They've been there for years.
But we came in there, and the clients we had, plus our style, it was undeniable. We came in there, first of all, let me tell you how we set it up. No shop, I don't care anybody says, I've been in plenty of shops, I've been around, I've seen mad different joints. No shop had what we had in there. And I'll stand by that. 94, 95. No shop had a 55-inch TV. No shop had video games in the back. No shop had a pool table in the basement. No shop had a weight room in the basement.
What would you say the demographic was? Like, could a young lady obviously bring her kids? Let's say a white man happens to scroll by your shop. Will he feel safe, or will he have to grab his wallet?
He ain't coming in. He's not coming in.
It was a little hooded than that. You know what I'm saying? You had to have a little bit thick skin, but we were professional. We all had we had jackets, you know what I'm saying? We all had barber jackets.
Definitely professional.
We had our names on the mirror. Even our business cards were different.
Chris actually said that you handpicked your starting five. And what went into that? What was the qualities that you looked for?
Well, I already worked with these guys, so it was me and Tim and Chris. Obviously, Chris was gonna go wherever I go. He running, and then down the block, my man Kev, and there's another cat, Terrence. So I knew. I said, well, R.I.P. Rest in peace, Terrence. We went from Merrick Boulevard, which was kind of, it was a little more. It wasn't so hood. It was, but it wasn't. You know, it was a little cleaner over there. So when we got to God Brew, it was drug infested right there on the block. It was right across the street from Rochdale, which was it was co-ops, but some parts of it they would call a project. But these guys, I knew they had style. Like I said, they had swagger. I said, yo, listen, I'm gonna open up over there. Y'all want to roll? I called a meeting. We had a meeting at the House of the Pancakes. I said, y'all about to open this joint. Let's do it. And we set a few rules in place. And 2 weeks later, 30 days later, we was off and running. And when we went over there, we brought a whole wave of people that, you know, some people knew some of those guys over there on south side of Queens, like South Jamaica. They knew a few, but we brought a whole new look. We brought women. We brought a whole different feel, a whole look, man. and they was just feeling, oh, who's the new guys? And we went over there, and that's how we started. It was a real blessing. We didn't have to work hard.
It
We
was a
brought
coup.
clientele.
It was a
Right.
coup, man. It was a coup. It was a takeover, for real. I
Wow.
hate to say it like, 'cause I do love the dude. Frank's a good guy, but we took over. Well, you understand? All the rock still knew us. All everybody in the back blocks knew. Everybody in the neighborhood fucked with us. Why?
Right.
Because we was them new hot niggas. When we stepped on the scene, this was different for everybody to see cool barbers. To see like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like man, they mad cool as fuck. Nah, you know what I mean? You're gonna have the haters, you know what I'm saying? Because if nobody's hating, you ain't really doing that. Let's just be real. Our name just kept getting bigger. I remember like the first 2 years, I remember me and Mike going to the Avenue, going to Coliseum, and I remember Cash running, yo, y'all have Fades International Barbers, right? He was like, yeah, here's the card. You know what I'm saying? Come see us. And he was like, yo, yeah, I'm gonna come by the shop. And it was just like, oh shit, like we really them niggas right now.
One of the major drug dealers in the neighborhood was shouting us out.
Right.
Yo, Fades, that's them dudes over there. Like, I was feeling like that too. Cause I was like, oh, yo, cats
We
know
them
us.
niggas.
Like, not
Nah,
just
we them
over
niggas.
here, they know us. Yeah.
And you gotta realize, for me, I went from playing basketball and knowing a whole different group of dudes. Then when I went to hustling, I know a whole different group of dudes. So when cats would come in the barbershop, they'd be like, oh, yo, oh, shit, damn, Chrizo, I ain't seen you in a minute. And you know, and then when you go to jail too, you meet a whole nother group of cats. So it was a bunch of dudes that I just knew that were coming in there, and you know what I'm saying? Like, cats would tell me all the time, man. I'd be like, yo, you got any problems with these niggas out here? Just let me know. I'll come lay the whole block down. I just like, bro, I gotta work here, man. Chill. It's all good, man. It's all good. We straight. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with us. Our other niggas, our other homies, big homies got it. He's like, nah, but you know, I always got that thing on me. I used to be like, yo, bro, haircuts, money. That's it.
Ramble, young man, ramble. With your host, Ramble indeed, brings you the Q&A of Chrizo 360 and Mike Knights the Barber on I.U.A. Network, YouTube. Mike, you really had some cojones going to that block right there to set up shop as your business. What made you go there?
Well, at the time, it was a young lady that I was seeing in Far Rock. So I used to buy that the way that I took, we used to pay attention to that boulevard, but I never got out over there to go to the store because there's too many dudes. You know, you can't get out in somebody else's neighborhood and walk to the store. That's just how it was. You're gonna have issues. I saw a barbershop. It was Frank's barbershop, and then there was another barbershop that opened up. I said, oh, so they got two shops up there? Because the boulevard is full of stores, so it was two shops. And then one day, you know, long story short, I saw that shop closed, and I heard it was a shootout over there. They shot the barbershop up. And I said, man, 2 weeks later, man, they still closed. They not opening back up. It's a slot right there. And my homegirl called me. She's like, Mike, it's a spot up here. You could get it. But it actually wasn't that barbershop. It was another store.
Candy shop.
It was a candy store, yep. Like a bodega type of store. And bought the store. I said, we going to open up over there. I just felt like, who going to stop it? It was a shop up there already, so it was not disrespectful. And we bringing our own clientele. Bringing a whole new wave, man.
It was disrespectful. It was a takeover. We was giving flyers out on the block. We going to every store, giving everybody flyers. We didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yo, when I say if we didn't care, we was on something now. We gonna get money and we gonna take over this whole fuck. We looked at Rochville as a gold mine.
It was.
We didn't look at it as like a product. We looked at it like, oh, you see, I mean, people in one building alone, there got to be 1,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we like, oh hell no, we gonna kill it.
You guys Google Rochdale Village in Queens, Jamaica, Queens, and you can see how many buildings it is over there. So I was thinking it was more than enough money over there. And for that matter, the dude that owned the shop up there, he stepped to me. We was walking through. He's like, yo, nice to meet y'all. You know what I'm saying? There's more than enough money for everybody over here. It's all good. And I'm not, in my head, I'm saying it's going to be all good anyway, because we ain't going to have no problem. We know too many people. We know, like I said, we know people from all sides of town, and we know the top dudes that was in the streets. They had mad love for us, so we wasn't gonna really have too many issues. I didn't even think twice about that.
And we had an ill Brooklyn family too. We get to that later on.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It is a beautiful thing having all your brothers together. But did that get in the way of business?
Nah, business.
Nah,
There's too much money. There's too much money for people to be mad. They wanted to be there.
they was
Trust
waiting.
me. Yo,
I had
and
13 people waiting on me one time. That was my number. How many you
yo,
got, Mike? I got 12. All right, make me 13. I'll be right back. That's how it was.
I had to have a list.
So it was the place to be, because I might see a party and get my hair cut.
Right.
Indeed, you could
Absolutely.
watch a basketball game, play video games in the back, or you wanted some weed in the front, you leave some weed in the front, smoking in the back in the alley. We had an ill alley.
Smoking in the basement.
It was just unreal. You know what I'm saying? If you stayed there late enough at night, who knows what have ran through the door? You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling. I'm just telling you what's going on.
Gambling downstairs. Gambling games.
This sounds like there's violence not too far away from this. Is that was that ever a problem?
I mean, we had a few run-ins. We definitely had a few crazy things going on.
Yeah, you know.
The business was always first.
Business is always first, but it was the block, man. It was hustling. It was, you gotta remember this before the internet. So everything came out of the barbershop. Music, fashion, everything, how everything, just imagine there's no internet and you didn't know what music was coming out. You had to go to the barbershop to get those mixtapes, or these, just to hear the conversations or to see who's wearing what. That's what we had. Or you see somebody pull up cars, they was pulling up the cars with stadium lights behind their license plates because they got to get away from the police. That's what they was doing. People getting locked up, smashed up against the window. I saw a lot of stuff. The DTs was coming in, the detectives coming in with pictures of people, like, this guy, all type of stuff, man. If you can think of something, I guarantee you we have a story about it. It was a meeting point for a lot of different people in all these areas where a lot of people did not like certain people. So, yo, we over there. Mike, we only come over there for you. Chris, we only come over there because you there. I don't like them niggas over there. It was like that.
Yeah, and they would bring, and let's be clear, they definitely had their thing on them. That's a fact. They would always come up there with that thing, and some dudes I would have to cut facing the door all the time.
Eric Sherman came in. Ep.10. Yeah. He's like, yo, turn me to the door and shit. It was like that.
It's a serious place. You're talking about 134 Guy Brewer, home of Lost Boys. You see 50 Cent coming out of there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's our peoples. They know. Boo boo.
When you hear 50 Cent's story, he talk about it all the time. That's what we was, and you get him on, he'll tell you like, yo, nah, it was those dudes. He will tell you that. He will absolutely tell you that.
In my opinion, it was just us and it was Freddy's. That's it. That when you talk about like the best shops in Queens, we were the top two in the game.
Yeah, we was the most talked about. Other barbers would probably say no, but
they didn't have what we had.
Did everything. Blowouts. You name the style, we did it. I've been doing it since the early 90s, late 80s.
When we got a sink in the shop, we had a sink. You know what I'm saying? So now if cats that had waves, we'd wash their hair, boom, put the do-rag on, dry it up, and touch the line up just a little bit more so that, you know what I'm saying, when a little bit of hair is laying down on it, so that when they walk out of there, like, they walking out of there like, damn, I said, Chris, I go right out right now. I ain't got to do nothing.
The old barbershops had sinks, but when the younger guys came, they didn't really have sinks. They just had, you just go in and get your hair cut. But, it was not like a salon. But once we did that, we kind of changed it up a little bit too. So we got to the boulevard. That dude, Frank, God bless Frank. He's a cool brother. So we definitely don't want to talk bad about him. But he shut his shop down for 2 weeks because we was that powerful. He shut it down and revamped did his whole thing over.
Nigga, he had a TV, everything.
You gotta remember, it's not just about a haircut. It's about being in the place to be. And you want to go where it's popping, and it was popping over there.
What was your best experience from that era?
I want to say when we were the first people to give 50 Cent a show, and we had like an ill hair show / performance. It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that night, like I felt like, damn man, like we are gods. You know what I mean? Of the barber world kind of thing. Yeah. How many people showed up? The whole neighborhood is there. All our friends, everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody. I have to agree with Chris on that. We put something together, man.
It was a concert. It was everything.
They had clothes. People had clothes line. We're like, yo, we're gonna put
Yeah.
that in there.
It was a fashion show.
We're gonna put the haircuts in there. We got 50 Cent first live performance. It was a big deal.
It's dope.
You know what? No, I'm gonna say this. When we used to go to the Vibe, we used to go to Long Island out there, and we used to be like, I mean, like 10 cars deep with all the newest, you know, everything. Everybody had something, and those nights were the nights that I felt like, I mean, when I got that Z and dude was screaming out like, yo, Mike, man, you got the juice now. That's when I knew we made it and shit.
Just all y'all coming together for one common cause. I know it's a whole different feeling, no?
Nah, definitely. Hell yeah. Absolutely. We weren't, you know how some people work together, but they ain't friends? We were friends. Had no problem hanging out with each other. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, Mike and them had the fly cars. I didn't have the fly car yet. You know what I'm saying? It took me a little while. You know what I mean? Because I had a kid and I was like, man, I had a car, but it just wasn't that fly as this. But so I would leave mine home. I was Robert.
Oh, he's shotgun with me. We good.
I remember, a so-called gangster, so-called getting money dude in the streets, right? This is when I knew, like, yo, I was somebody, because the chick that I was seeing at the time, he wanted to see, right? And like I said, he's this flashy dude. He got the rollie on. So, Shorty's like, nah, I'm rocking with you. I fuck with your vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see him. He got money, but, I'm fucking with you. And, rightfully so, she should have. But the nigga said, you gonna give the barber the pussy over me? He said that, right? I was like, yo. It was almost like, oh, we arrived. Like, you hating that hard that you went to my profession?
Well, yeah, right. Well, yeah.
Right. We was oh, you messing with some barber niggas? You messing with them barber and it? It was
that's what it was.
Shade, hate. They ain't like it, and not for nothing. We was handsome dudes too. So
yeah, we was easy on the eyes. You know what I mean? So you
couldn't stop us, man. You can't stop people like that. You can't stop positivity and positive vibes and greatness, man. You can't get in the way of that. That's what we did.
And we weren't. Let me be real talk. Like, we weren't. Listen, we talking about our street shit, our nigga shit that we did, right? We also made sure, yo, you can't hang out here. You gotta go to school. You can't be in here. So we was trying to make sure, yo, the youth was good, and you saw, yo, these dudes is getting money, they getting women, and they cool on top of that. I was a dad, so they saw me being a dad. They saw my daughter, so they saw other joints where they like, yo, nah, man, these dudes is alright. It wasn't just cutting hair all the time. It wasn't just, shits and giggles and fun. We really was schooling young dudes about, nah, man, be better. You see my man own a business, that's what you want to be. You want to be owning your own business. It's cool to be a barber, you know what I'm saying? As you see, you can make great money. You can do this job anywhere in the country. So you're good if you learn this trade here. We really were trying to help them out at the same time. We weren't just there feeding off of them. Man, we gave back so much time. Yo, we had their kids' parties that to the point now that my daughters and their kids are still friends 27 years later. When you're in one place for 7 years straight, you see the ins and outs, all the people, the community, everything going on, everybody that came and told you all the fucking business. We had kind of no choice but to give cats real talk or give them good advice, because sometimes at home they wasn't getting no advice. Or sometimes at home, it was, fend for yourself kind of situation. I miss it sometimes because of how we were, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the camaraderie of it.
Right. And we're smarter now, so now it would be even crazier. You know what I mean? Even in that environment, we would be able to know how to shake and move even better. You know what I'm saying? The way it's like, oh, the money would be even crazier now.
Yeah, we was a little reckless with it.
Yeah, we was young.
We were young men, man. Young men in your 20s. You was learning yourself.
I didn't realize who we were until I got older. I didn't realize, like, the power and how many people were watching. We just didn't realize it because we were just, you're in your 20s, you're just doing what you want to do at your 20s. I don't know, you ain't really looking at your life in a whole perspective to me. Let me say this, I was the youngest out of everybody. Just came home from jail a couple of years, so I was on some, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm a new dad, but cutting hair was my life, so I ran with it. You know, when your best friend is doing this here, it's a whole lot easier to be like, oh, fuck it. Shit, my best friend getting this money. Fuck, I'm gonna get this money with him. I see this nigga fresh every day. Shit, he got a pocket full every day. Shit, I want that too. Who don't want that? Where I'm working at, it's the spot. Like, really the spot. Like, I
Yeah.
used to love going to work every day. Like, man, I'm going to work. Kidding me?
It's hard to put it into words, man, to paint the picture. You know, we kind of doing it injustice because
Yeah, hell
it
yeah.
really needs to be seen. You know, it really needs to be seen, and people can say, "Wow, this is a lie. This ain't true." You know, that's what
Right.
people would say.
What brought an end to it all? Was it an end to it all? Was it a graceful bow out? Was it a, you know what,
Uh,
we took it as far as we can?
It was a
uh,
graceful bow out. I would say that. You know, it was, the neighborhood. The drugs and the alcohol, man, could really tear the community up. And in my eyes, the light at the end of the tunnel was getting dimmer. It wasn't bright, and there was no way. I'm a person I like to elevate and get more and have more. Hindsight, probably could have done a few things differently, but it was time. I just thought time was up. There was no
Mike,
growth.
Mike was just frustrated. It was one of the saddest times and probably the best thing to happen for me at the same time, because those fade days were able to make me be able to shake and move with all type of people, all type of cultures, nationalities, and everything else. I had from Spanish customers to Black to West Indians to Jamaican. Didn't matter who it was. I had it all, right? But your best friend moving out of town, it was like, damn. Now the shop is closed, and your best friend moving out of town. That shit was like a double whammy for like about, I want to say, a year and a half, about a year and a couple of months working in this beauty salon after shit ended. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck am I doing? By the grace of God, my other best friend hit me like, yo, he used to work for Murder Inc. He's like, yo, this dude is out of town. They need a barber. What? I'm on my way. And from that day on, Chrizo, the regular barber in the shop, was no more. Chrizo, the traveling barber, had evolved right then and that day. I'm never going back to a shop kind of thing. What I do was had a demand for at people's jobs. Like, if you knew you the boss and you like, oh yeah, hell yeah, or you got an office, you like, shit, I work in my office. Come get me a haircut. When I knew I could do that, oh man, sky's the limit after that. Because now I felt I opened up a whole nother market for myself.
What was your transition like, Mike?
It was rough. It was rough because when I got here, I had to make sure that I had my license and everything, and I went back to school, and it was kind of rough because nobody knew me here. Like, I work in this guy's shop, and I'm get somebody out the chair, and I'm like, well, you're next. So I'm used to 10 years of clientele. Like, yo, I don't know you, homie. I gotta see what you can do. I had to go sit down on the curb outside, man. Hold my head up, man. Like, it's gonna be all right. That's what it was. It was just a whole restarting. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I didn't know anybody here. I just had my brother and a couple of friends, but in the barber world, I didn't have any clientele. But it evolved fast. But it definitely took a few years for me to get to where I am now.
I know that feeling is crazy where you're like, y'all have the Picasso of barbers in this damn shop, and y'all over here skipping me for this dude who's giving out crooked fades since I've been here.
He giving out shags, man. I'm like, man, haircuts not supposed to look like that. Yeah, I got some dudes out here now that was with me from the beginning, and they'll tell you the same story. Like, Mike, man, I can't believe you let me go to this dude. But I definitely built a nice family here, barbershop family, and a lot of camaraderie with a lot of folks here. So from New York to Atlanta, it's definitely a big deal. I opened a shop one time with somebody else, and that kind of didn't work out. It was good, but it just didn't work out. It wasn't the same. And during the pandemic, I was just in the house, and I realized that this corona, this virus, COVID, is going to have people working in smaller areas, and they're gonna be working virtual and stuff like that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna start moving around, being a mobile barber, and I bought an RV, like an older RV, and I transformed it into a barbershop. So it's just me in there, and, you know, and that's where everybody comes to get their haircut. They love it.
At this point, Mike is in Atlanta, but he came to visit. So I'm at Def Jam. I'm like, yo, come to Def Jam with me. Fuck that. You're gonna hang out with me all day. We're gonna be over here, right? He's like, yeah, bet. So this day, I get the call to cut Hove here. For me, you know, to cut Hove and then have your best friend there, a guy who kind of put you in the game, you know what I'm saying, and you know, went to bat for you, right? Mm-hmm. For me, I was cutting Hove here, and me and Mike was just kicking it. We were just we were just talking, and because the chick told me, yo, Hove, he don't really want people talking too much. All right, fuck it. You know, and I said, but I got my bro here, man. Like, I can't leave him outside, you know. It's some legendary shit. I really told her that. She was like, all right, cool.
We was in, what's the name, office? It was in,
with Kevin Lyle's office. Corner office, man. Real talk.
Yeah. Okay.
So me and Mike just kicking. I'm cutting Hove here. Me and Mike just kicking it. And Hove was like, yo, what y'all talking about? And next day you know, me, Mike, and Hove having an ill conversation about sports.
Yeah, for real.
I'm cutting hair.
In my head, I'm saying, damn, this nigga cutting Jay-Z. This shit is crazy. Ain't talking to us? Oh, this is nuts.
And for me, right, I always hope that, like, yo, from like a guy who put me on, like, yo, I hope, you know, like, damn, man, I hope he was proud, like, yo, my nigga really made it. Look at this nigga here. Look where we at right now.
Yeah.
And for us, it was almost like a fantasy when we used to be like, damn, I can't. These niggas got fucked up haircuts on TV. They need to be fucking with us. We used to always say that shit. Yeah. Always. We used to always say, yo, $100 cuts. That's what we're going to get to one day. $100 cuts, $100 cuts, right?
Haircuts, yeah.
Yo, when I tell you, indeed, I have surpassed that. By far.
Yeah. The illest part of that, so Chris cutting him, and I'm sitting down on the couch facing them. And like Chris kind of in like a corner. I don't know if he's in the corner. And Jay-Z and Kevin Lyles, and it's like somebody else is talking. And me and Chris having our own conversation. And Jay-Z like, yo, what y'all talking about?
Like, fuck what they talking about.
We're just talking, right? And I just go to show you, like, it's just different. And he's like, asking Chris, he's like, yo, so how you get to start cutting hair? And Chris pointed at me and was like, yo, that dude right there, man, told me everything I know. And I was like, damn, that was it for me. Like, I felt like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But hindsight is so much more that we could have done.
Yeah.
We still shooting for the stars.
We want to put what happened on Fades and the people that we intertwined with on film. People need to see that. People need to see, like, yo, oh, nah, this ain't really, nah, it really did go down. Yeah, 50 Cent was there. Yeah, Freaky Ty was there. Yeah, Lost Boy, all Lost Boys were there.
Nas came up there one time. Nas came up there before.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to yep, fact. We even got mob ties. So the fucking little guy comes in here, right? The mobster guy comes in with his fucking cigar, right? And me and Kev, he walks past me and Kev, like, yo, no smoking, man. He's like, all right. And keeps the cigar in his mouth, just keeps walking. We're like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this? He comes to Mike, right? He says, yeah. You the owner? Yeah. If you do garbage, you do garbage with me, okay? Capiche? Okay, take care now. Here's my card. And walk
away. Yo, he looked at me, man, and he said, yo, we do the sanitation here. Nobody else. This card, and you don't even think about dealing with nobody else. This is what we do. You can't do it yourself. Just let me know when you're ready. Wow. I said, yo, this shit is real. I did not know. You know, you always see this stuff on TV, and I was like, yo, this mob shit is real. They really came over here and they took over. About 2 weeks later, I made that call, and yo, I'm ready to join, ready to jump in.
There is still a documentary coming out, and I know y'all working also on a movie for it as well, no?
I really want to do
we want to make episodes. We want to make a series so we can do kind of like, you know, how Wu-Tang did their thing. We started, and we can't just put it into like 2 hours or hour 45 minutes for a movie. That's not doing us no justice. So
like, you gotta see the build up. You gotta see the build up before we even like yo, it's a story that me and Mike already started a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, yo, we gotta start putting this on paper. So I was overseas. I was cutting Blair Underwood's hair in Ireland. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm gonna just start writing this, man. I'm bored out here. I ain't got nothing else to do. Time zone's fucked up. I'm up the wrong hours. You know what I mean? So I just started writing. You know what I'm saying? I would call him every day, like, yo, what do you think about this? All right, I'm gonna call you back. I would send him shit, and he would be like, all right, bet. So now that's it. And that's just me and him. We didn't even get to our other barbers that got the, you know what I mean? They got their own story. So during this time, all I got is our story. So now when we add their story in, our first week there, this nigga Boo Boo 50 Cent is getting chased by the fucking whole 113th precinct. They got helicopters, about 20 cop cars chasing him, and he's wheeling up the middle of God, bro, in between cars, with a dirt bike. And we like, yo, what did we just get ourselves into, man? Like, and I swear, am I lying, Mike? If I'm lying, I'm lying, man. To at least 20 cop cars and helicopters chasing this dude here, man. But this is before the rap career, you know what I mean? The acting and everything else. This is Boo Boo. This is not even 50.
When should they be expecting this documentary or even a TV series? And do you have a name for it?
Fades International. And just look for Fades. Up and coming, man. We're gonna give y'all especially with the 90s, man, what the 90s was all about.
90s music, style, everything, stigma, everything that you heard about the hip hop era. Because I mean, honestly speaking, when the hip hop era was blowing up, so were we at the same time, and it was good, friendly competition.
Please give a shout out to Chopping It Up Sports. Love the show.
Come on, man, you can catch us every week dropping super knowledge, super real talk on things that, you know, everybody else, you know, just kind of like hints around it. You know, they really want to say the real thing here, but they can't because they on certain networks. But us, we can say what we want to say. So if you need to come check us out, man, you know, you want some real sports talk, come check us out, man. Chopping Up Sports, man. YouTube, if you want to see us, or if you just want to hear us, you can hear us on Anchor, you can hear us on Spotify. We are there.
And that's Chopping It Up Sports, CHOPPIN. IT up UP Sports. Shout out to Craft, Aircraft out there.
And the boss Dawn, super engineer. This Craft 68 Digital, you know what I'm saying? We about to switch his whole name up, you know what I'm saying? Because he does do a lot of editing work, you know what I mean? So I like to shout him out on that work there because, you know, the guy has grown with us on this journey. And it ain't over yet. It's more to come.
Please give out your social media tags where they can find y'all individually as well as y'all Chopping It Up Sports page.
You can catch me, Mike Nice the Barber on Instagram. That's Mike_Nice_DA_Barber. Instagram, Twitter, God Barber Mike. Check me out. We out here.
I'm Chrizo360 on Instagram. Chopping It Up Sports on Instagram and Chopping Up Sports on YouTube and Chopping Up Sports Facebook page. And matter of fact, look out for us starting to go live too, man. We about to do this live thing come 2022. We try to keep stepping it up to make it better and different. You know what I mean? We know people out there listening to us. We get it. You know what I'm saying? And we want to keep making them better as we get better. You heard?
Also, let me shout out the podcast, the Fades Podcast. It's on that Mike Nice the Barber Instagram page. We definitely giving positive influence all the way around the board. So check me out on that too.
I'm your host, Ramble indeed, and thank you for joining me on this Q&A with Chrizo the Barber, Mike Nice the Barber of the legendary Fades International, located in Queens, New York, 134 R.Y.M.R, circa 1990. All the stars went there. You heard about it. If you know, you know. And part 2 with Big Kev and Tim Dog on the way.
Kev told me one day, Kev said, yo, they don't cut hair like this no more, yo.